we're back with the what happened during the build up to WWE's Road to SummerSlam. Okay, so I've been basically gone for 2.5 months, I believe, about since I decided to take a small break from WWE because I was going on vacation, and I said, you know what, I can have an excuse. I don't need to watch this. I'm not going to watch the pay-per-view. So, and from what I've heard from the pay-per-views, most of it sucked. Mostly from inside politics, discriminatory NXT talent, and stupidity nonsense. And then I was like, okay, look, I know they got that $1 billion deal, but there's no way they really went there. And with this, there's really no way they could can dig down the gutter and break that limit. Oh god, if SmackDown Live wasn't doing consistently good, then I would have quit after this. I would be quitting doing these videos. I would just take my break for a much longer time. In fact, I was wishing I was still in Colorado, because then I would have an excuse because I didn't have access to the television. And I wasn't going to go ahead and watch on the streaming services. Primarily because I don't have my cable box there. So I don't have a cable internet provider here in Colorado but okay, never mind about that. All I know is I wish I was in Colorado so I would have an excuse not to watch WWE for vacation purposes. Like, wow, Raw just sucks. It really sucks. Like, when I heard this $1 billion deal that WWE got from Fox, I was like, okay, so they're going to try really hard, right? They're going to put in an effort to show that they're worth that money. And even after the Fox president basically said, yeah, NBC Universal, the guys who own the USA Network, yeah, they will admit they're kind of embarrassed having you guys on their show, on their network. Yeah, they're pretty embarrassed. And you would think that would be a wake-up call and a huge epiphany for Vince to say, you know what, maybe we kind of went too far with this. Maybe we're not really trying as much as we used to. Nope, that would require actual effort and a freaking imagination from him. Instead, he decided to find a way to make the cross-dress angle they did with Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley's, quote, sisters, and dug and dug and dug until they found the nirvana of horrible crap. It's phenomenal that they went this bad with Raw. In fact, I have a reason why they did that. I get the feeling that the reason why they're not trying as hard on Raw like they're doing on SmackDown was for one reason. Not because of the $1 billion deals, though that could be a factor. The reason is Roman Reigns. Think about it. Every time when the show sucks, there's usually those people that say, yeah, well, Roman Reigns kind of had the best segment. Like, really, that was the only good segment. With maybe a couple of sauce tidbits happening from the side. And I just start thinking, wait, is Vince intentionally sabotaging the show to make it look so bad that any angle Roman does is considered a masterpiece? Because if that is the case, that is royally stupid. Remember when the people back then had to up the ante to show that they can hang? Yeah, well, that's considered illogical nonsense. Oh, and speaking of how far Vince McMahon has gone to push Roman Reigns to get cheered, I'll get to that when I get to the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns segment of this video. But anyways, let's go to NXT 205. Yeah, they're actually going to have a kickoff match. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak. Yeah, basically, it was a pretty simple formula. Drew Gulak won a fatal 4-way contendership match to challenge Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight title, and there was a small build-up, and it was announced that this would be a SummerSlam. People want it to be on the main card, but let's be real, yeah, Vince is never going to do that because he's not in control, therefore he has to be bitter and petty about it. So, yeah, he's going to look at that and say, you're the enemy because you don't work for me, you work for Triple H, therefore you're all enemies to me. I'm giving you a privilege to be on the kickoff show because, you know, being treated like crap by your boss is clearly the best way to show that you're a working class man. No. So I haven't watched 205 Live. I usually just come back to just watch the big matches I always hear top ratings for. So as you've noticed from my Buddy Murphy videos I've talked about, which highlights that Buddy Murphy's the best thing going right now. So let's move on from that. Let's get to Rusev Day and Lana. This primarily is feuding over the fact of, well, this is coming from the SmackDown side. Cien Almas actually challenged Rusev, got a match with Rusev, defeated him. The following week, Zelina Vega fought Lana, and a rematch between the two again. And Lana lost again because of Aiden English's attempts to help. Yeah. So, and yeah, it's been getting pretty hectic on that point. But yeah, there's basically resulting in a mixed tag team match, and yeah, and Aiden English is really the third wheel in this whole thing. He's basically being that guy, the middle ground, where he's trying to show, please be my best friends, notice me, and whatnot. And I don't want them to break up. I don't want Aiden English to go back on his own. He's not going to really do anything without Rusev Day. In fact, I'm surprised he even got as far as he did with it. So I don't want them to separate. I want them to stay together. They're pretty much one of the last organically accepted talents left. Speaking of organically talented people that were getting organically over people, okay, so that's pretty much the build-up. I get the villain English is going to do something drastic and cost Rusev and Lana the win again. The B Team. I did not care for this tag team whatsoever, but I did understand that a lot of people liked it. They liked their song, they liked their attitude, and then Vince McMahon changed the theme song and everyone hates them. And made them tag team champions when clearly they're not supposed to be that role. Okay. Why are they fighting the Revival? They didn't win a contendership match. It's just there was a report that came out sometime before Extreme Rules when they won the match and won the titles that Vince McMahon has apparently lost complete interest in the tag team division. Way to go. So, yeah, this is basically Vince saying, I don't really give a fuck. And meanwhile, the Authors of Pain aren't doing anything, and it was reported that they're trying to come up with ideas to get them on television more. And all I just said on Twitter is my response is this: with zero effort, I had said this. Versus the Revival for the tag team championships. Done. I did that with zero effort. And they once again say that it's because Paul Ellring's gone, which I do understand is a big factor, but there are two factors to this. One, it's because of the traveling concerns about his age at this point, which is a legitimate reason. The other reason that is no longer legitimate and nullifies any common sense that could have been made from this case is the fact that Vince hates managers. So that leads to a question. If Vince doesn't like managers, why is Paul Heyman still on TV? Oh, better yet, why is Zelina Vega still with Almas if he hates managers? Okay, Paul Heyman is the guy who can't really be removed from Brock Lesnar. If they did that, they break something up, and really people like Paul Heyman. But Zelina Vega and Almas, yeah, they don't have that luxury. Really, I think the only reason why is probably because Vince doesn't see her as a wrestler, he just sees her as a manager. And even then, that's turning loosely. More like she's supposed to just be that lady that just helps Almas and whatnot, and then we'll do business. And I think he hates it that Zelina Vega is actually, wrestling. That's my theory, at least. But yeah, the Revival shouldn't really be having this match. I want them to win the tag team titles. In fact, their match with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Oh, speaking of Matt Hardy, there's a reason why this was not the triple threat tag team match that happened on Raw, when everyone assumed that was going to be the match at SummerSlam. You see, they're trying to make Matt Hardy take a break. Oh, he has an injury. It's just disturbing, morbid, and I can't believe this is actually humanly possible. Yeah, remember that big leg drops he always used to do off of high spots, off the top ropes and ladders? Yeah, that's becoming long-term physical damage to him, like the merging of bones damage to him. Yeah, you see, his spinal bone and his pelvis bone are merging. They're merging into one. And all I kept saying, like, again, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's bad. As in, oh my god, how the hell is this happening? So, yeah, Matt Hardy's been giving these cryptic tweets about his future, where he looks like he's retiring soon, and quite frankly, he should. Like, he's done everything. He could work in the creative department, though he has to no longer do what Vince does, and after what happened when word got out about Randy Orton, yeah, I get the feeling that's not going to end well either. Yeah, I'm not going to address that. I really don't want to, because it's disturbingly weird and freaky, and also kind of shows that you're letting the veteran inmates run the asylum. Kind of like that other company that had so many veterans they didn't know what to do with them because they got out of control with all the power they held. What happened to that company? I think they got destroyed from within, and one guy refuses to accept that he had a role in this, and he just lies to everybody to this very day about his existence because he's a pathetic sack of crap. I wonder what happened to that guy. I heard he got fired from WWE for being a racist. Oh, who cares? It probably wasn't important. Yeah, as all due respect to that guy, I don't like Terry Bollea. As much as he's done for wrestling, he's also done a lot of damage. And I still will not forgive the whole, well, everyone who's suffering in Florida for the lack of electricity, even though there's a variety of factors that could be taken out of context of what I was saying, they're just a bunch of crybabies. And I'm thinking, you did not just say that. And it was reported that people did die when there was a lack of electricity because of the hurricane. So congrats, Hogan. You just insulted everybody in Florida, and I'm pretty sure they would love to get their hands on you for saying such stupidity. But I am going off topic. Mostly because I'm scared to talk about Raw. And I'm trying not to, but I have no choice in the matter. So, yeah. Moving on! Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin. I do not care about this feud whatsoever. There is no care for me whatsoever about this feud. In fact, I'm wondering why don't they just do Finn Balor versus Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens? Yeah, I'll get to that as well in a little bit. So, this is just a rematch from Extreme Rules, and they did 50-50 booking, so this is clearly going to either go one way or another. So, no one cares. So, let's move on to Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. I thought it was going to be a triple threat match with Randy Orton when he finally turned heel again, became a sadistic bastard that everyone wants to beat up, and insulted the independent wrestlers because you gotta have that flavoring because Vince hates everything that doesn't involve him. In fact, he's even reportedly pissed off that the G1 Supercar is actually sold out. Poor him. Like, he has billions of dollars and a $1 billion contract, and he is possibly the best talent in the world. What could he probably be triggered about? Unless he's admitting that his product sucks and he doesn't care anymore. But what could be so wrong with him? Boo-hoo. Face reality on that, Vince. So, yeah, Nakamura defeated Jeff Hardy in less than 10 seconds with a low blow because Jeff Hardy has been suffering from minor injuries that are catching up to him. And I'm wondering, why is he still on television this whole time? No, seriously, I'm wondering that. Well, why is this happening? Why is even Nakamura after the U.S. title? Well, you see, that's an off-topic question that I get to answer. You see, a report I had found when I was looking some stuff up about what the hell is going on, everyone was wondering, why isn't Almas gunning for the U.S. title or going after the WWE title already? Specifically the U.S. title. Well, you see, there was a report that came out that it was originally planned for Nakamura to win the WWE title, have a short title run with it, and have Almas go after Jeff Hardy and win the United States title. Now, wait, why would Vince want that to happen? Having two NXT guys have major championships, and one of them is America, because America. Well, Nakamura was only going to have a short run with it instead of being given the long run that he's earned. So really, that was a screw job one way or another. And Almas, the reason why they were going to give him such a huge push initially wasn't because of his talent or Triple H recommending him or everything that he's done in NXT. No. The only reason he was going to be given the U.S. title was because he's a foreigner and because foreigners are evil, sadistic bastards in his eyes. Yeah, that was the reason. Because Vince likes a foreigner holding the U.S. title. It's not all this logical deduction you could come up with, like, oh, he's earned this. He's done so much in NXT. He's delivered 5-star matches with our company. We haven't got 5-star matches consistently like this since CM Punk and John Cena's match. No, it's because he's an evil foreigner, and therefore foreigners are the devil. Are you sure Vince is xenophobic? Like, he's kind of best friends with somebody that I don't feel like talking about because if I go into politics more, I'm going to get pissed off. Especially when you hear stuff constantly, like someone tweeting in all caps threatening another country's president. And I don't feel like going into that because it's seriously fucked up. The fact that we have a commander-in-chief who's kind of acting like a petulant child, writing in all caps like that. I'm digging this too deep. I'll get out of it. So yeah, Nakamura and Andrade Cien Almas were both sabotaged and killed two birds with one stone. Nakamura was denied the WWE Championship and was downgraded. Almas was denied even further and was not even going to give a chance. Good job, Vince. Your hatred for foreign people to be good guys is no bounds. Now we get to Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus, oh my god, why is she even here? Charlotte Flair triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Yeah, Becky Lynch has been kind of having a huge run right now with undefeated streaks going on and winning matches consistently and getting this big underdog storyline. And it looked like it was all going to pay off between her and Carmella. Like a lot of people have been wanting to get Carmella off the women's title. Primarily because I had to be honest, I've been watching her and I was like, okay, I find her promo skills okay, but I just don't like the way she wrestles. It's just not good. It's not my style. It feels old. It feels like Diva era stuff that you would expect. And then they wanted to ruin that because Charlotte comes back from her surgery she had. And everyone was wondering, why is she here? Now, seriously, why is she here? Why is she in this match? Well, okay, there's been things I've been saying on Twitter where I keep saying, like, okay, you know, with all the favoritism Vince has with blonde people and one of them having blue eyes, I'm surprised they haven't made certain jokes on the internet about Vince McMahon and his insanity and favoritism with blonde-haired people. Yeah, I don't feel like going into that because of what happened to PewDiePie. So, yeah, I'm not going into that. I'm going to dig too deep in that. So, yeah, everyone was wondering why Charlotte Flair was in this match. Yeah, she's talented. Granted, her promo skills have been improving, but I still keep thinking of her roboticness she speaks with. Oh god, that was cringe. So yeah, I was not happy, and Becky Lynch certainly didn't look happy. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she was constantly punching Vince in the face after that, because that would be honestly cathartic. Like Kevin Owens, what he did to Vince and beat him up, which was cathartic. And I'm pretty sure a lot of NXT guys were cheering in the back, saying, "Yeah, you give him the free obligation to kick his ass. Do it for NXT, man." But I digress. Yeah, I want Becky Lynch to win it because she's actually built herself up to earn it, so it makes the most sense. But since Vince doesn't operate with logical consistency and common knowledge, Charlotte's probably gonna win. After all, they do have plans to give her and Ronda Rousey the main event of WrestleMania next year from the rumors I've been hearing, so clearly they're gonna do that route. Also, where's Asuka anyways? She's gone. Like, she hasn't been seen. Remember that? I think it's because she's foreign that Vince hates her. That and her NXT career. So yeah, that's not looking good either. In fact, that's the only match that SmackDown Live has that probably isn't going to be good if Carmella's going to retain and going to piss everybody off who likes Becky Lynch and Charlotte. So, moving on from that, we got Dolph Ziggler with his buddy Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins with his surprise return for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh my god, this is the only feud on Raw that's actually somewhat consistently good. And I say somewhat, because we've had these two people who are going to be produced by Tyson Kidd after that disaster Iron Man match I kept hearing, especially when the fans who kept clamoring for something different at the end, only to be given countdowns to the Royal Rumble buzz in an Iron Man match, and how they messed up the Iron Man match by making it 30 minutes instead of the, 60 minutes they should have done. Would have given leeway and actual interesting dynamics instead of just finisher gore fest just to get quick pinfall shots. So yeah, with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre basically dominating the Intercontinental Championship run, and really I just want Drew McIntyre to win the title. In fact, I was thinking they should have done this. McIntyre, Ziggler, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor for the IC title, produced by Tyson Kidd. Because Tyson Kidd's the only guy making this match work. Like, yeah, we've seen Seth Rollins and Ziggler fight before, but the fact that they've been given such revitalization, and the fact that Tyson Kidd's been producing all of Seth Rollins' matches on a consistent level of high quality, that should say something of how this match is probably going to go. It's going to be an awesome match, I bet. And with the announcement that there was going to be a return helping out, there was going to be someone at Seth Rollins' corner, and it was like, okay, where is he? And of course, I was proven correct. Dean Ambrose showed up on Monday Night Raw, touched the audience adulation, and helped beat up Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to give Seth Rollins the win here. That was cool, but at the same time, I'm wondering this. Why? It's not that this return was warranted. It's more like, why have it on Raw? Wouldn't it have made more sense to save it for SummerSlam? Like, yeah, everyone will see it coming, but they'll still be freaking out at the top of their lungs. It would have made more sense and made more epic memorability, memorable if Dean Ambrose showed up for the first time back at SummerSlam. But they didn't. They wasted that. Like, I think they realized that they fucked up big time with this show on Raw, that they had to do this because certain events were happening in the main event that I will get into in a moment. But, yeah. I think Dolph Ziggler's going to win. In fact, I'm waiting for Jason Jordan to come back because I want him and Seth to fight finally and get this over with. Like, I get the feeling that they might have Seth Rollins win, but at the same time, Ziggler has one that is, like, after the ending they did on Raw, and with Raw being consistently awful, I wouldn't be surprised if Ziggler does retain. All I know is that this match has the potential to be a show stealer with some other matches because Tyson Kidd's producing it, and that's all that matters. Moving on. So now we got Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank contract. Should Strowman lose by disqualification or countout, any means, he will lose that contract. And I'm thinking like, wait, how dare they take my idea how they should make the Money in the Bank contract mean something when he's not using it? Yeah, right before Monday Night Raw, I was discussing on Twitter about how they should, about somebody about how they should up the ante with the Money in the Bank contract instead of making it forgotten like they did with Carmella's run with it. Like they should had her defend it when she doesn't use it at least once a month when she never uses it. So they could have done that, add some intrigues, new storyline ideas, new concepts, something that New Japan Pro Wrestling does with their G1 Climax briefcase they'd use. Like Kenny Omega defended his contract. In fact, he's always defended. It just never changes hands. But we still get interesting storylines out of it. So they finally decided to take New Japan Pro Wrestling's idea and tweak it onto this. But they'll probably screw it up somehow because that's how it works. Yeah, also, I'm just wondering, why is this feud still happening? It kind of ended when Strowman literally attempted murder on Kevin Owens. And really, if you look from Kevin Owens' perspective, he has a point with the whole harassment he was getting from Strowman. Like, he destroyed his car, made his life miserable, and yeah, he hadn't messed with him after Money in the Bank. He's just staying far away from him. So why is Strowman kind of being a bully here? In fact, some people are starting to lose interest in Strowman because, well, I don't know, he's not Universal Champion, and they all know if he is fighting for the Universal title, he's just going to lose to Lesnar because Lesnar is God. And we all know a monster can't defeat God. Kratos might say something about that. So, yeah. Strowman and Kevin Owens. Here's the thing I kept saying. Why not do this? Have Strowman cash in on Lesnar, okay? Have Strowman cash in on Lesnar, win the title, have Kevin Owens and Lesnar reinstate their rematch clause to challenge for the Universal title at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns, having won the number one contendership, is already given a pass to it, and they could have just added Finn Balor because he's on the rematch clause. So make it a fatal 5-way match, save the main event from sucking in a horrible way, and get out of jail free card when you know Roman Reigns is not going to win the respect of the fans because of your consistent horrible booking of him as a good guy. It's that simple. I came up with that with zero effort. I'm not even trying. I'm offering all these money-making ideas I could come up with, and Vince is like, no, fuck that. Fuck all these fans. Fuck all this logic. Fuck all this. We gotta blow this card up. Blow it. Like, 13 matches. How much is NXT doing? Oh, fuck them. I don't care if they have half their only 5 matches. That's stupid. We need to blow up this card and make it oversaturated with horrible, crappy wrestling. With some actually being good. So, yeah, while Strowman is most likely going to keep the contract, I wouldn't put it past if they give it to Kevin Owens. Now, we get the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day. Okay, they won a tournament, that's it. That's the build-up. The problem here with people with this match is because why is the New Day getting these opportunities? Sandy just popped up, finally, and they're being buried out left and right. In fact, a report came out that Vince had ordered the commentary to not reference NXT. Not to reference their past in NXT. Does anyone else like to keep thinking there's no discrimination going on in the employee section of the company? That there's not a policy that says, hate NXT guys. Like, Vince might as well go ahead and put on a shirt that says, I hate Triple H, or I hate my son-in-law, or I hate NXT. Seriously, that's what this is. And you want to know the thing? I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H was contemplating punching his dad and father-in-law in the face after that. Like, because here's the thing that a lot of people did that was reported, but no one really talked about it. It was reported when Sandy had debuted in NXT, Triple H was revealed to have came up with this idea for Sandy. Now, one would say, well, yeah, he founded NXT, except there's just a plot twist. He founded this 10 years ago. Yeah, he had envisioned Sandy as a concept, he just waited for the right time to find the right talent who can make that role realistically happening. So think about this. This was when he was still full-time. This was when he was wrestling. And he wasn't behind the scenes yet. He was making better ideas than Vince a long time ago. And now he pulled the James Cameron card where he's going to wait his time for the right time just so he can enact this plan. Which means Triple H is probably the most pissed off that Sandy is being wrecked like this in the span of less than a year than how long it took for him to make this group work. I think that's the real thing that's going to piss him off. Now we get to Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. After Ronda Rousey had went into a rampage after Nia Jax, and her had a match, and I was hearing it was actually good, was ended by Alexa Bliss, she went ahead and destroyed Kurt Angle, beat up the referees, beat up security, beat up Alexa Bliss with a briefcase. She got suspended for a month, then attacked again at Extreme Rules, was given a match with her for the women's title of Raw, and she beat up security guys again. I must stress, this is her, third, fourth match in WWE, and she's already been given the Women's Championship twice. So, while I will admit Ronda Rousey's good, I also keep hearing that this is going to be a script-by-script match, and I'm not comparing it to this match, I'm just saying that there was a similarity. Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat did this by a script-by-script basis with the two. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to do a script-by-script basis of how to do this match correctly. Which means that either Vince believes that Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss is going to be the Macho Man Randy Savage, oh yeah, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat of this generation, I will just say, fuck you. And also, Alexa Bliss says that this is deserving of the main event. No, it's not. It's really not. You have to be kidding me that you think this is main event worthy. So, let's get to a match that actually deserves the main event. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. You see, this is a feud that's been awesome. They've barely fought each other. In fact, their final confrontation on SmackDown before the show went off the air for the final week of SummerSlam ended with a promo exchange and no incident. Something that kind of doesn't exist in Vince's world, in Raw especially. So yeah, this has been mostly a war of words battle build-up. So that's refreshing instead of the let's get the brawls going and get people to get thousands of people, armies of wrestlers to break these two guys up, even though realistically that should not really happen. But besides the fact, we gotta get Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns separated. We gotta get Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns separated. But yeah, Styles and Samoa Joe, I want them to main event the show. I really want them to main event it. They've earned it. This is a dream match people have been wanting to see in WWE. Though at the same time, considering how much they screwed up Nakamura and Styles, yeah, at the same time, it probably shouldn't happen. Considering how much they oversaturated that in a month. And I still say, Congrats. You made me not interested in Nakamura and Styles. I didn't think that was humanly possible, Vince. But you did it. Here's your participation award. And then Samoa Joe likes to take it even personal by attacking Styles' family, causing emotional vulnerability to him. You know, like that one guy who Vince favors above all else, who hasn't had emotional vulnerability since Bray Wyatt was threatening his daughter for like 2 weeks and then it stopped, even though that could have been an interesting angle they could have went with. But they chose not to. Yeah. So Styles is pissed about this and even vows to defeat Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe twists that knife even more when he presents a fake letter from a WWE fan revealed to be AJ Styles' wife. Oh dear, that is just straight up savage. Oh god, that must have been savage. Or vicious. So, yeah. So, Styles and Samoa Joe, just from these build-ups, should already be given the main event of this pay-per-view. There is another match I haven't talked about. I'll talk about that now. It's been 8 years in the making. Well, technically, it's been 3 years in the making since they've had confrontations in the past and matches. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. A match that should not be happening at SummerSlam. No, it shouldn't. In fact, I had thought of a plan before all of this. When Bryan had come back, I had thought of a plan of doing this. Okay, you want to know this plan? Okay, here's the plan I envisioned how Miz and Bryan should have went. You have all this perfect build-up. That's a key component. But this should be for the WWE Championship. And it should not happen at SummerSlam. It should have waited until next year's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 35. They should do this. They could have done this. Have Miz win the Money in the Bank contract. Styles and Bryan fight at SummerSlam. Bryan wins. Have a repeat of what happened at SummerSlam 2013. Except without the pedigree or Triple H's involvement. It's just Miz screwing him over big time. Get the win. Win the WWE Championship. Elude Bryan for months. Go ahead, have Bryan finally win the Royal Rumble, then go on to fight Miz at WrestleMania and do WrestleMania 2. Seriously, I came up with this for months and I thought that was the perfect role. They could have done that. It would have been great. But the reason why they're doing this match is primarily they're concerned about Bryan's future with WWE, that he might actually leave in September. But considering how he's now in WWE's 2K19 showcase mode as the focal point, yeah, I get the feeling he's going to stay. So really, this match has virtually no purpose to happen at SummerSlam. It should have waited. They should, in fact, they could still do that, but at the same time, that would have pissed everybody off if they do the false advertising booking style they did with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. So either way, if they don't do this match, they'll be damned after they advertise it. If they do this match, they'll be damned because they should have done this at WrestleMania for the WWE fucking title. So, yeah. This is a match that should happen, but it's at the wrong place. It should have been held till WrestleMania. It should have done what I suggested. That would have been a better angle they could have went with. And it would probably give Sandy something to do if Miz has can convince him to help him. Like, maybe they have some beef with him. I want to see Eric Young versus Daniel Bryan. So, yeah. And I do love their promos and interactions. They show that this is to them their masterpiece. And Bryan said this in an interview that shows he is still in his I don't give a damn attitude, even after he gets cleared. He admits that he agrees with the fans, that they can't do competent long-term storytelling. Wow! Bryan, just admit you want to get fired. Like, throughout his entire I don't give a damn attitude, I've been thinking he's trying to get himself fired. Yeah, he says in this 3-part video for the Biz and Brian build-up that he was trying to honor his contract. He wasn't going to just straight up walk out, but nothing in that sentence said that he was trying to get intentionally fired by doing every single thing in the book to piss Vince off. That clearly was the intention. He clearly was trying to piss Vince off so much that he will get fired. But every tactic failed because Vince knows that if he goes, he'll just go somewhere else, and all the fans and money will go there, and he can't keep it. So really, Vince was damned either way. Either Brian can do whatever he wants, or Brian leaves. That was clearly the ultimatum Brian gave. Either let me do what I want on the microphone, or I walk. That was the ultimatum Brian basically gave. And it's hilarious. I kind of loved it. Because this is the one time I could feel like Vince was put into a horrible position where he lost either way. If Brian is running around in the WWE saying whatever he wants, like he did on Talking Smack that wasn't PG friendly, then Vince is gonna get pissed. If Brian is fired and gets to leave WWE and they terminate his contract, then he'll just go somewhere else, and all the fans and money will go there, and all the attention will be on those guys, and not on Vince. So either way, Vince was damned either way, so that's going to be so freaking hilarious. But yeah, Brian and Miz, match that should be happening, but at a time and place it was not. It should have been held off until WrestleMania. It would have been perfect. It would have been the perfect storm for it. All the pieces were there. You just had to have Miz win the goddamn Money in the Bank match. But you went predictable and gave it to Strowman. And it was reported they were thinking that idea. It was reported they wanted to do Miz winning the Money in the Bank contract. They had all the pieces together. Why didn't they do it? Why? Oh wait, Vince hates us. So let's get into the unfortunate main event we got. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, round whatever, who cares? Okay. There's a concern I have now. Like, not only are they displaying that Lesnar clearly doesn't give a damn anymore about the company or wrestling in general, and they're actually playing true to life to that in a storyline, but it's not that is annoying. It's not the repetitive try to get Roman Reigns sympathy. It's the fact that Vince has kind of reached dangerous levels to get that sympathy. You see, on the final Raw before SummerSlam, Paul Heyman was hinting and teasing the idea of Roman Reigns finally becoming a Paul Heyman guy, and I loved every second of it. And then it looked like it was going to end on this interesting cliffhanger where Roman Reigns holds this piece of paper and it looks like he's contemplating it. They could have ended that. It would have actually been a great way to end the show, honestly. Then they screwed that up by pepper spraying him and revealing that this whole thing was a ruse. And that Lesnar and Heyman are actually still best friends. Now, not only is that the dumbest thing they did, and they gave away what could have been and they wrecked what could have been an interesting angle they could have went with, and ended on the show on a cliffhanger instead of a tale of hope, because they've done that all the time, or a tale of despair. They could have left it on the, what's going to happen next? You know, like they used to do a lot. But it's what happened next after the show that was the concern. You see, remember that part where I said Paul Heyman pepper sprayed Roman Reigns and everyone was like, oh, it's just water or some vapor or something just to give the illusion that that's pepper spray? Yeah, Ringside News reported that Dave Meltzer said that that was a shoot and it was legitimately pepper spray. Okay, I must stress, a script beforehand on NoDQ.com came out that said that Paul Heyman was going to pepper spray Roman Reigns, so that was in the script. So they legitimately had Vince walk out to Heyman and tell him, here's the pepper spray Roman Reigns' face with that repeatedly. I've said I am a fan of Reigns. I hate that he's booked as a good guy when he clearly thrives more as a villainous character. Or, you know, a character that we can relate to, but they won't do it. But now, Vince has gotten so fucking desperate in his delusional, fucked up mental state that he is going to willingly inflict bodily harm to Roman just so he can get one pop. He does know how pepper spray works, right? That could have damaged Roman. That could have injured him. That could have honestly killed him in some way. If possible, if enough pepper spray was used, and a lot was used. You're telling me that Vince actually thought this was a good idea, that they should use pepper spray, legitimate pepper spray, and spray Roman Reigns' face for a good whole 30 seconds repeatedly without stopping for at least a nanosecond, because that's going to get him cheered. That's going to get him liked. We're going to actually kill Roman Reigns. We're going to kill him so hard that basically I'm going to quote Superboy Prime from DC's Countdown comics. I'll kill you. I'll kill you to death. I have no words. Like, oh my god. If Vince walked up to me, told me that the only way they're going to do this is if I legitimately get pepper sprayed because they're desperate for me to get cheered, I would just tell them, you are fucking nuts. Because contracts be damned. Business be damned. You are intentionally trying to get someone hurt and risk their health because you can't accept that fans don't like him. Vince, this isn't insanity anymore. You became the leading picture of insanity. If I go into the encyclopedia book and they show a picture of what the definition of insanity is, they'll show Vince's face. But this isn't even insanity anymore. This is malevolence now. It's already bad enough he treats all of NXT like crap. It's bad enough he treats anyone as the enemy of Vince McMahon. It's already bad enough he gets offended if another company at the very least gets a big show like All In and G1 Supercard. But now, because we can't like Roman Reigns because you booked him in such a horrible way, that you're going to willingly get him hurt? Why? If you want me to be sorry for him, oh, I'm sorry for Roman. I'm sorry that he had to come at the wrong, horrible timing to work with you of all people. I wish he was born later just so he never worked with you. I don't care if Roman gave his consent. He should have told Vince, dude, this is kind of dumb. And even if he did give him his consent, really think about it. Would Vince really have taken no for an answer? He should have just told Vince to go fuck himself after that. Like, I would have been surprised if Paul Heyman initially proposed the idea to have it end on a cliffhanger and not have Brock Lesnar show up. But Vince was like, we gotta make it blatantly obvious. Okay, I'll accept that, but pepper spraying him for real. Real pepper spray. Let's pepper spray him. Let's give him real pepper spray and spray him in the face repeatedly, non-stop, and have Lesnar beat him up, because that's going to get him sympathy. That's going to get the fans to hate Lesnar and cheer Roman. No, that's not how that works, fans. You see, when the internet learns something, and they learn it quickly, and they learn that you're going so far as to get Roman in bodily harm by giving him pepper spray to the face, they won't boo Lesnar. They'll probably cheer Roman Reigns out of sympathy because of what you did, but they want to go ahead, meet you on the street, and deck you in the face after that. Like, I even publicly said on Twitter, wrote in Vince's name and tagged him saying, please confirm whether or not this is true, because this is deeply concerning. Like, even the most diehard Roman Reigns haters, I told them about this, and even they were shocked that Vince went that far. That Vince went this far. I was chatting with some people on Twitter. They don't like Roman Reigns. They respect my opinion that, yes, I don't like Roman Reigns' booking, but I like his talent in the ring. But to intentionally risk harm and health because Vince has broken, his mind has been broken so much now that he's gone this far. There should someone start questioning something here. But I have no words. Like, I was already mad and I was going to go into a long rant expressing why they screwed this entire feud up. But no. I just, you know what? I'd rather have the feud get horribly screwed up than actually have a guy get horribly pepper sprayed in the face because because Vince is insane. So yeah, I got nothing else to say about that. So yeah, SmackDown's gonna obviously win this entire pay-per-view. Raw's gonna suck horribly. The main event's gonna get booed out of the building, and I seriously hope the fans actually tell Vince to go F off. So those were my thoughts on WWE's SummerSlam build-up. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And stay tuned for more. And I'll see you at NXT.